All right. For your next project, the music video, first music video, guys, I have an introduction here, which is going to be this video that I'm doing right now, so it'll be updated. There are direction sheets on how to do this. You're going to have to use at least 20 images for your pictures. How to save it, we're going to be using Movie Maker 2.6. The music you're going to be making in McCaffrey 6. And here's how to work on the project, storyboard, things like that, the time function. What I want to do is actually show you the project. So on the directions here, we're going to do the introduction to Movie Maker. We'll go over that, and I'm also going to do the timeline. So this is the overview of the entire thing for today. The music and turn it into a movie. You'll have to watch these separately because those will be later on. So starting off here, we have a video. This is actually 9/11, but this video, guys, I got off the internet. It is not that good. If you look, the pictures are kind of random. They're all over the place. Look at the transitions. It just quick changes. There's no dissolves, no transitions. The images don't fade in or fade out or move around during each one. The pictures, last one, the images was standing. Now it's obviously down. Here they're still trying to rescue, but there's no more dust. Next picture is a year later. So the images are all over the place. This would definitely get you maybe C in my class. I expect more from you guys. It's almost like somebody took, I don't know, 60 pictures, threw them on the floor and said, good enough. Now, does your project have to have a timeline order? No, it doesn't. But 9/11, these images definitely could have followed a timeline. You could have had images of the tower before it was hit and everything else, the images of it was being hit, have the rescue part here that's going on now, the tearing it down, the rebuilding, what's there today. There's a definite timeline you could have followed, but this person didn't. It's just all over the place. The only thing that's really good about this was the music. But even the music they just took offline. You guys are actually going to make your music, because the music can make or break a video also. So that is our 9/11 video. All right. The next thing I want to show you here is going to be a Veterans Day video that I made a couple years ago. This Veterans Day video, guys, if I open it up, makes it a little easier. The story, because it should have a story, is basically soldiers and children, or soldiers and doing humanitarian work. Now, because this was for a Veterans Day assembly, I needed it to be a certain length. So some of this stuff are just cool pictures that I added to it. But otherwise, we got mostly humanitarian work and pictures of soldiers with kids. That's kind of what we have most of our images as. Notice the images, they slid in and out. Our transitions just kind of go from one to the next. They're fading along. If I just move way ahead for you. They're fading in and out. Okay? They don't just sit there. That's more what I expect from you guys. Your topics, as far as what we're going to be covering, your topics can be 9/11. It can be Veterans Day. But we're also going to choose 3 to 4 topics as a class. I prefer you not do 9/11 because that one's been done so often. With Veterans Day, guys, it could be Veterans Day itself, or it could be anything in the armed forces, any branch in the armed forces. As far as the other 3 topics, we'll choose them here towards the end of the class, because that's going to be different for each class. You'll see up there on the board, some of the other classes already have theirs listed. You're going to choose your list. So you could have 3 more topics to choose from, not just Veterans Day. It must tell a story. I say a story because a story is part of your storyboard. It's basically, what is your topic? If you're doing a timeline like we did with 9/11, or I had somebody do a soldier once that signed up, went into training, went overseas, fought, came back home, said hi to the family, all that sort of stuff. That was the timeline for their video. That was their story. But I'll tell you what, every picture was a different soldier. You could still follow it, though, just because of what they were trying to show. I've had other people decided they were going to do the U.S. Marines, and it was just a bunch of pictures of the U.S. Marines. Well, their story was the U.S. Marines. So it doesn't have to be a timeline story, but it should be a story. In other words, what's your topic? At least 20 images. That could change. I may need more later on or something, but for right now, it's at least 20 images. No guns if war topics. So if you are doing the Marines, no guns. All right, I don't want to see any guns in our videos. They can be found. They're out there. There's, believe me, a lot more than just 20 images of the Marines without guns. So no guns. You will be able to use Google Images or any other search. You all did sign the web use form, the appropriate use web use form. Basically, it's saying that you're going to use the web appropriately. Now, the school has great filters, sometimes too good. But you look through, every now and then an inappropriate image may pop up. If it does, move on. The worst thing you can do is to try to show somebody else the picture. That doesn't get you in trouble with me. That goes like all the way up to the administration building because it's a district policy. Now, an example of an inappropriate is if you have 3 soldiers standing there taking a picture and the last soldier's holding a beer or has a cigar in their hand or something. That's inappropriate for school. As soon as you leave the school building, is that inappropriate? That's for you to decide. But as far as school, yeah, somebody having a beer in their hand to put in a school project, not appropriate. So that's what I'm talking about. Be specific in your search, but I should also add be smart. Guys, the more specific you are in your searches, the better it will be. If you just put U.S. Marine, you're going to have to go through thousands, millions of pictures to find the ones that you want. But if you want a U.S. Marine that's on a ship in the morning, put that, and it'll help you find your pictures. However, be smart. Guys, do not ever, 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 ever type the word gun or guns into your search. And that means I had people that thought it'd be okay to go ahead and type U.S. Marine, no guns. Okay, just the word gun sets off all kinds of alarms in our security system here. Even though you type no guns, all they saw was guns. You all have your own login. They know exactly who you are, and you will get questioned hard on it. So guys, just be smart. Don't type the word guns or weapons or anything like that and put the word no in front of it because they won't see the no. They just see the actual word. So be smart in your search. Your images, guys. Save your images in your piano folder. It's the same type of thing that you did with your Incredibox project. Same spot. My suggestion, open up that folder and make a separate folder for your first music video. Because you're talking about making music for it. You're talking about making the project for it. You're talking about 20-some images or more. That can really clutter up your folder. So if you make a separate folder just for the first music, it will make it easier for you to find stuff. So that's why I have make folder for first video here. It'll just separate it for you. As far as Movie Maker 2.6, not Movie Maker. Guys, if I go down here and I hit the start, when I go to my programs, we are not using Movie Maker. We're using Windows Movie Maker 2.6. This is the one you're going to click on to open up. It should show up to the storyboard right away for you. The other Movie Maker, that's made just for YouTube type stuff. Slap down some pictures, throw in a song, and you're done. This one here lets us deal with video production and music production a lot more, which is what we're going to be working on. So, you don't have pictures here yet, so how do you get them? You come up here to your task. Make sure your task is selected. Import pictures. You select the import pictures, you find them, you import your pictures, and they'll pop up. Now, the rest of the time, we're just going to follow this edit movie. The only thing we're not going to use, right here, make an auto movie. Don't select that, guys. It'll mess up all the work you do. So I'm going to take my pictures, I put them down in here. Now, if I don't have a timeline, I can switch my pictures around however I want. If I do have a set timeline, I'm a little more limited on how my picture order goes. So I select my pictures. The next thing after my collection of pictures, I go to the effects. With the effects, guys, there's all kinds of effects here. You can use any one except for 4. Fade in from black, fade in from white, fade out to black, fade out to white. These you may not use because we will be doing transitions. I don't want your picture to fade into a black screen and then have the black screen transition into your next image. When you actually watch the video, it's going to look like you made a mistake. So don't use these. Any of the others, go ahead, drag them down in, add them. You want to see what they do? Just double click on it. It'll show you. Do you have to have one for every single image? No, you do not. But you can add your images there. After you're done your effects, you go to your transitions. Now for the transitions, I'm going to kind of put the transitions down in here. All right, just kind of randomly go down. Now the transitions you want to watch. So let's see this. Well, what we're looking for is how they go to the next picture. That one's okay. This one, maybe. That one's pretty good. Now, what am I looking for? Well, the most important part of this picture is to the middle right. So transitioning the entire thing across, that kind of works. But even better, you might want to go find something that shows the middle right first and have that be the video that you use for your transitions. If the most important part is in the middle, you probably want that to be showing first. Over here I said this is good because it curls from the left to the right. Well, the bottom left is the most important part. There's our fighter jet right here. So going from the bottom right up to the left, this works. Once you find that, the next thing we're going to be doing is our timeline. Now, when we go to our timeline, we zoom in so it's a little easier to see. Guys, our pictures automatically go in here for 5 seconds. Each image is 5 seconds long. If you want an image to be longer, it's very simple. Click on it and drag it and make it longer. You can see down there my numbers change. All right, so now I'm almost at 6.5 seconds. Then I can let go. Why would you want to make a picture longer? One of two reasons. Either it has a lot of detail, like this image. Whoops. Come here. This image, which has a lot of detail in it, or if it has words. You guys have all watched a movie or something that has words. You try to read it, and before you're done, it flips to the next thing. That gets real annoying. So you can change the length of it. Every one is 5 seconds long automatically. 5 seconds is pretty good. 1 second is a transition in. 1 second is a transition out. So the actual picture by itself is 3 seconds long. That's pretty good. But the rest of them, you're going to want to make it longer if it's got a lot of detail and so on. The other thing we can do from this screen is if I click and hold, I get that little blue ramp. The longer the ramp, the slower the transition. The shorter the ramp, the faster the transition. Now, if you make the transition longer, in other words slower, you're going to have to make your picture longer. So that's something you can do from the storyboard. The final step we want to talk about here is our title or credit. Guys, you will have to have a title and a credit at the end, but it does not have to be formal. So if I do a title at the beginning, it can be like, please watch my movie. There we go. All right, I hit done, I add it. Now I have my movie here at the beginning. Please watch my movie. That's what that says, in case you wondered. If I want to change it, guys, just go down here. You can change the font, color, and all that. Change the animation. Oh, I want it to scroll. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want it to mirror. Whatever you want, and then add it to it. So that also is the final part. Again, we are not doing Make an Auto Movie. But now we've done this part. We've done all these steps, except that we're skipping. The next part is you're going to have to watch. You're going to watch the video that deals with the music after you're done all this on how to add the music. And then we finally finish it to make it a movie. Because right now, it's just a movie maker project. When we're done, we're going to have to turn this into an MP4. Something that has audio and video. Any questions?